Hey everyone! Before we start this episode, I wanted to put out a little PSA that we did in fact use AI to help generate some of the stories for the first 3 episodes. We did not know that was a faux pas, but now that we do, we will no longer be using AI to create stories. So, enjoy these first few episodes, then you can look forward to AI-free episodes in the future. Thanks for listening!
So, welcome to week 2 of Malice and Mirth.
Oh, hello! It's you!
It's you.
We'll get better at this, I promise.
Yes. I'm Mena.
I'm Whitney.
And this is Of Malice and Mirth.
Mwahaha. This week, I was thinking we should probably tell them a little bit about, us, how we know each other and that kind of thing. And then I realized I don't really know where to start. We met,
5 bajillion years ago.
Yeah, I think, 17, 15, 17. I don't know. A long time ago. And we became soulmates.
Yes.
And we lived together.
Yep.
And we love each other very much.
Yes.
And then I moved away.
And I was very sad.
And then we kind of not lost touch, but we haven't hung out in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So now we are getting to know each other again as adults.
Yes.
Real life adults, I guess.
Because, let's be real. When you're 18, you think you're an adult.
Yeah, but you're not. You're still a baby.
Yes.
A baby making bad decisions, but loving every minute of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They make the greatest stories.
Yes, they really do. And we have plenty of those.
Yes.
But yeah, that's us. And yeah.
We met through the love of dancing.
Yes, we used to go dancing literally all days but Tuesdays.
Yes.
And then that night we would go karaokeing.
Which I had the biggest fear of. And
then she blossomed like a fucking flower and sang me Taylor Swift songs.
I did. And now when I hear it on the radio, I cry.
I love that. I love that you cry. But yeah. So anyways.
That's a little bit about us.
Yeah, that's what you're getting yourself into.
And we would love to hear some stuff about y'all. So if y'all want to send anything to us as far as stories or creepypastas or anything like that.
Or anything that you've taken the time to type out, we'll read.
Yes. And you can send that to ofmaliceandmirth@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So I bet y'all can't guess what we decided to do today. Did ya?
What?
Aliens! So, are you ready to tell us what you got, Whit?
Yes. Today we're going to talk about an alien abduction, one of the first in recorded history. This one happened in 1957. The first widely publicized case was that of Barney and Betty Hill in the United States in 1961. Have you heard of that one?
No. But you're telling me that Betty stole the thunder?
What do you mean? What?
So Betty and what's his name?
Yes, yes. They had a more publicized one in 1961, but this one was in 1957. But it just didn't get as much recognition, and nobody really knows why because, it's a very interesting story, and it had you'll see. So
I
don't know
what happened in the news.
He just didn't get it. He just didn't get the media coverage.
There wasn't something big going on at the time?
Oh, okay, smart. I didn't think of that. That's true.
Yeah,
there could have been something else big.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good at history, so I couldn't tell you, but
now I kind of want to Google that.
Google it.
Okay, pause. Okay, so we paused because we needed to Google it. And Mena goes, I bet you it's something to do with Sputnik. And sure enough, the first thing, it says the aftermath of the Soviet Union's Sputnik launch and the U.S. scrambling to catch up, civil rights movement in the U.S.,
Okay, so I'm just going to say, if we were playing trivia, I'd be winning right now.
But yeah, so that, I guess maybe that's why it wasn't in the headlines.
But isn't
at
that weird,
time.
like Sputnik and then aliens?
I mean, it would have been good timing for it, you know?
Right. Okay.
It would have been. They missed out. But anyways, this is the abduction of Antonio Villas Boas in São Francisco de Sales, Brazil. Nice. I said that with one try.
Nice.
So, Antonio was born on my birthday.
What?
May 7th.
Hey.
But of 1934. But for those of you keeping track, he was a Taurus. So to me, that means he's trustworthy.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
I vibe with that.
Yeah. When Antonio was 23 years old on October 15th of 1957, he was working on his family's farm late one night. He says he was out there plowing at night to escape the heat of the day. I Googled to see what the average temperature during the day would have been that day, and it said around 92 degrees Fahrenheit. So, rather than plowing the fields in that heat, he was out doing it at night when it was only in the low to mid 70s. So, makes sense why he was out there, because that was the first thing I thought was, why the fuck you out there at night, you know?
But I have a question. Was the moon, like, real bright?
His tractor had headlights.
Okay. I was just going to say, because, like, trying to do that in the dark.
Yeah.
I would hope that the moon is bright.
Yeah, that comes up later in the story, but it does have headlights.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all of a sudden, Antonio noticed a red star in the night sky. It started slowly coming towards him until it was close enough that he saw that it was not a star at all. It was actually an oval-shaped aircraft. The craft had a bright red light at one end, a spinning dome on top of it, and as it came to park in the field, it let down 3 long legs to stabilize it.
Okay.
Antonio panicked and tried to flee on his tractor, but it mysteriously died right then. So he decided to dip on foot. He made it a short distance when he was stopped by a humanoid-looking being that stood about 5 feet tall. So he was probably thinking, you know, I can take it. It's
right.
5 feet tall, because that's as big as me, and I'm not intimidating in any way. But it had bright blue eyes and was wearing gray overalls and a helmet of some sort.
Okay.
The being barked at him with little yaps and yelps. So I'm just picturing this as an alien version of a chihuahua with a human face. Then 3 other similar little aliens joined their friend, and the 4 of them subdued Antonio, lifting him off the ground and taking him towards their craft.
Oh.
They went up a rope ladder to get into the ship, which is important. When they got inside, Antonio was stripped of all of his clothing and covered in a gelatinous substance.
Ew.
Yeah. The aliens took him to a semicircular room that had metallic walls. The door was covered in red markings, which Antonio had never seen before, but instantly memorized.
Wait, so, okay, I wonder. Because you want to know what that gelatinous
substance was?
Yeah.
What?
You go first.
No, you go first.
You go first.
Mine's not too gross.
Well, okay, so do you remember in the Matrix movies?
No, I don't, because I never watched them. I watched, like, one when I was a kid, and I didn't like it, so I never watched the rest.
I was about to say shame, but then realized that you just, like, told me, because I haven't watched Princess Bride, so I have no room to talk.
Yes, you have no room. She has not seen Princess Bride.
I have not. But in the Matrix, there's, like, this scene where, like, the humans are in this, like, little, not like an egg, but it's, like, this weird clear thing, and it has, like, jelly, and they, like, come through, and they're all, like,
oh, cute.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. So you're picturing that liquid? I'm just picturing, like, the lube that they use to do ultrasounds for some reason. Because that's the only time my body's been covered in a gelatinous goo, I guess, was during an ultrasound.
Makes sense.
But once he was in that room, the aliens took blood samples from his chin, presumably for testing.
From his chin?
From his chin. The aliens then led him to a third room and left him there alone for around a half hour. Shortly after being left, a gas started seeping in from the walls, making Antonio, like, violently ill. Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, a new alien entered the room. This one was female. She stood about 5 feet tall as well, with large, bright blue eyes, long white hair, and apparently bright red pubes.
Oh.
The carpet did not match the drapes.
I was about to say, ooh, a sassy alien, but then I'm like,
Oh, you're not digging the ginger pubes?
Well, why does she gotta be naked, first of all? Awkward.
Well, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apparently, though, Antonio was instantly hard, so they consummated the abduction. One much-needed note is that instead of kissing him, Madame Alien nipped at his chin, also like a chihuahua.
His chin.
His chin. She nipped at it. That was her affection.
Okay.
Afterward, the alienette smiled at Antonio, rubbed her belly, and pointed upwards, which he took to mean that she was pregnant and fixing to raise their baby in space, of course.
I mean, that makes sense. Valid.
Yeah, valid. She seemed to be relieved, like having sex with him was a task, which infuriated him. He said that he had been more than, quote, a good stallion for the aliens.
Oh.
So he took offense to her not being as elated by the sex as he was.
The confidence is real.
It was up there. He called himself a stallion. That's
Nah.
in the quote from his, not confession, his story, you know?
Yeah, his recounting.
Yes, his recounting. Good word. Oh.
See,
okay.
and if I was playing Scrabble today, winning.
Okay, I was about to say you've been watching too much Moira Rose. But after she left, Antonio was given back his clothes and taken on a tour of the craft. He came across an item that looked like a clock, so he attempted to steal it for proof of the abduction.
Okay.
But the little alien men caught him and took it back.
Okay.
So he had no proof. They then walked Antonio off the ship, and he watched the little red light get smaller as they flew away. The whole ordeal had taken 4 hours. When he got home, he complained of nausea, weakness, headaches, and random lesions on his skin that produced, quote, yellowish, thin, waterish discharge, aka pus.
Gross.
So,
I don't like that word.
pus? Is it like you're moist?
Ugh.
You don't like moist either?
No.
I was thinking, what does that remind you of? Lesions on the skin with, let's just call it discharge, I guess, because your face right now.
I don't know. He got a space, like STD or
Yes,
something.
thank you. That's my first thought too, and it's never mentioned in here. It is not once mentioned that they even did like an STD panel, and I'm just thinking, hello.
Could you imagine if they did that and it's like spiked, like they don't know what it is,
Right?
And it's something real gross.
And then he passes it, and then it infects the whole world, and everyone becomes zombies.
Oh.
Fuck. Anyways, he contacted a journalist named Jose Martins and asked him to put out an ad asking if anyone else had interactions with UFOs.
Okay.
Jose then contacted Dr. Olavo Fontes
Okay.
from the National School of Medicine in Brazil. He happened to be in contact with people from APRO, which is an American UFO research group. So the doctor had friends with the UFO research group.
So it was a what? A what?
APRO. APRO.
APRO. Not to be confused with AARP.
No, different, slightly. Dr. Fontes examined Antonio and stated that he had been exposed to a large amount of radiation and diagnosed radiation sickness. So I guess no alien STDs.
Okay. Well, I mean, the radiation makes sense.
But the radiation, yes.
But where would the radiation come from?
I don't know.
Because he was working in a field. So
No, from the alien
No.
ship.
Oh.
Probably from like the gas that they put in, or I don't know if they did any other testing. I don't know.
Like, I'm saying, like,
but he got it.
Like, what I'm saying is if they're, like, trying to, like, debunk him or whatever, and they're doing all these tests, like, if they're explaining it as radiation, like, where would he have gotten that from?
Oh, that's true. If he hadn't been up there.
Right.
Why did that take me so long to come around to your train of thought? Man. Okay. But Dr. Fontes got Antonio the attention of UFO research organizations who all investigated the incident, but there wasn't a lot of media attention for some reason, like we talked about, until later on in the 60s when Walter Buehler from a Brazilian ufology group wrote a report including Antonio's story.
Okay.
So that's really the only other, like, other than new media coverage,
Right.
like podcasts and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Other than that, it didn't really have anything except for that.
Except
from
for
the one from Walter Buehler.
Okay.
So, like, that's how little coverage it got for some reason. Anyways, another doctor who interviewed Antonio was named Dr. Whitney. What? That's my name and my birthday all in one story.
That's gotta say something.
It's creepy. It is creepy.
It was meant for you to cover, see?
Yeah, it was. It was meant for me to find. Anyways, Antonio drew out pictures of the markings on the doorframe of the ship, along with pictures of the aliens themselves, giving further details such as 3 extra flexible fingers on each hand.
Oh.
Your face. Oh. Small noses, large but thin ears, and small flat mouths.
Like Voldemort.
Like, yes. Yes. Many people only believed Antonio's abduction tale at first because, get this, they thought a lowly farmer was too stupid to make up a story like this.
That's not nice.
No, it's not nice. Then Antonio became a lawyer, and all of a sudden, he was smart and credible. So either way, people believed his story, though. Like, for the most part. There were skeptics, of course, who said that Antonio's drawing of the UFO looked too similar to the Sputnik, which I totally forgot that was in here. So, yeah, it looked too similar to the Sputnik, because it was wildly popular at the time of his abduction. So I just completely forgot that whole section. Others said that little details like the rope ladder made the story unrealistic because that's too similar to stuff that he used at his farm.
Well, yeah, like I was thinking about that earlier when you were describing it. Like, it would make more sense if the ladder was like metal or something like high tech.
Yeah, exactly.
And not a rope ladder.
Exactly. So that is where some people poke holes in his story. But regardless of what other people said, Antonio did stick to his story until the day he died in 1991. The year after I was born.
I was like, I was 1.
Yeah,
we were 1.
We were 1.
We were 1.
Yep, and that's all I got. That's
all
the
you got?
story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just still can't get over the chin thing.
The chin thing. Well, I mean, so yeah, they take testing from his chin. They nip at his chin. Yeah, they have a chin thing.
Or he has a chin thing.
Or he has a... Yep.
Just say it.
Yeah. Someone has a chin thing either way.
Well, I actually hadn't heard that. I mean, considering that it didn't have very much coverage, so... Interesting.
Yeah. It was an interesting story. Especially the red pubes of it all. Your turn.
My turn.
What?
So I have a story that's not titled. Yeah.
We'll come up with a title afterwards.
Okay. All right.
And who is this story by?
Me and AI.
There you go.
All right.
I didn't want people to think we were just reading someone's story without
True,
telling them.
true.
Sorry.
All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Okay. Tally adjusted the ring light clipped to her iPhone, the glow reflecting in her amethyst and obsidian layered necklaces. Okay, Coven, she whispered into the camera, her voice dropping into her signature deep dive documentary tone. We're officially at ground zero. Great Aunt Maud's 100th birthday. The vibes, positively ancient. I'm sensing a massive rift in the ancestral plane, or maybe that's just the smell of overcooked cabbage.
Gross.
She hit post and shoved the phone into the pocket of her velvet flares. Tally was 22, a professional, intuitive content creator, and currently the only person in the Miller family under the age of 60 who wasn't there for the inheritance. Her mom had spent the entire car ride typing emails about Maud's original 1920s bungalow and the unbelievable resale value of the stained glass. But Tally was there for the energy. Maud was a family legend and her favorite aunt. According to the record, she had survived the Spanish flu, the Great Depression, and 2 world wars.
Damn.
To the rest of the family, she was a miracle of human endurance. To Tally, who had spent the last 3 weeks tracking Maud's astrological chart, something didn't click. Maud's birth chart was empty. Every time Tally tried to run it, the software glitched out, displaying symbols that looked less like Mercury in retrograde and more like a corrupt QR code.
Okay.
Tally, stop filming your crystals and help me with the cake, her mother Susan snapped, as they hauled bags of party supplies towards the front porch. The house was a sagging Victorian draped in overgrown wisteria that looked like it was trying to strangle the chimney. As they stepped onto the porch, a low, rhythmic thrumming vibrated through the floorboards. It wasn't the sound of an old house settling. It sounded like a massive idling engine. Creepy, right?
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Tally asked, her hand instinctively flying to her rose quartz pendulum. I feel like that's an odd way to describe a necklace.
And also, what is the rose quartz going to do for you? It's not a protective one.
Hear what? The air conditioning? Susan huffed, kicking the door open. Maud, we're here! And we brought sugar-free icing. The interior of the house was a fever dream of elderly chic. Lace doilies covered every surface, but they weren't protecting wooden tables. They were draped over strange metallic canisters and jagged chunks of rocks that glowed with a faint, pulsing ultraviolet light. Auntie Maud? Susan called out. A raspy metallic cough echoed from the kitchen, followed by a sound like a wet sponge being slapped against a radiator.
Ew.
Gross.
That does not sound nice in my head.
Maud shuffled into the hallway. She was wearing a floral muumuu that seemed to be vibrating. Her skin had a texture of an expensive leather handbag that had been left in a bathtub for a week. She looked 100, certainly, but it was a static 100.
Ew. Just everything about that.
Susan. Maud croaked. Her left eye blinked, then 5 seconds later, her right eye blinked. It was asymmetrical and deeply unsettling. You're late. I can't do the old lady voice for more than just Susan.
More than just Susan.
You're late. The atmospheric pressure is dropping. My joints feel like they're filled with pressurized steam. Oh, you poor thing, Susan said, dropping the bags. Is it the arthritis acting up? Is it the humidity? Maud's gaze shifted to Tally. Her eyes weren't just cataracts. They were swirling pools of milky white with tiny golden sparks dancing in the center. And who's this? The one with the glowing black rectangle and the rocks around her neck. You remember me, Auntie. I'm Tally, your great-great-niece. Tally stepped forward, her TikTok senses tingling. She reached out to hug the old woman, but as she got close, her rose quartz pendulum didn't just swing. It began to spin in a perfect horizontal circle, humming like a hornet.
Oh.
Maud stiffened. A faint hissing came from the collar of her dress.
Oh.
Nice rocks, kid, Maud whispered, her breath smelling of ozone and black licorice. But you might want to put that one away. It's interfering with my pacemaker. Unless you want me to start broadcasting the BBC directly to your dental fillings. Tally pulled back, eyes wide. She looked down at her phone. The camera app was open and the screen filled with jagged green static lines. Hashtag family mystery, Tally thought, her heart racing. Hashtag witchy vibes. Hashtag Aunt Maud is glitched. I'm just here to help you celebrate, Auntie, Tally said, her voice trembling with excitement. You look incredible for 100. I feel like a rusted out VW Beetle, Maud snapped, clutching a small glowing purple bottle to her chest. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom and calibrate. Don't touch the lace, it's conductive. It'll all make sense later. Tally's thumb hovered over the live button. Her followers, all of 14.2 thousand of them, lived for her spiritual investigation series. Usually she just poked around supposedly haunted thrift stores, but this felt like a high vibe anomaly. Okay, guys, she whispered into the phone, ducking behind a massive, dust-covered fern. I'm at Great-Great-Aunt Maud's. My pendulum is literally going rogue, and she just told me that her lace is conductive. I'm going to try and catch a glimpse of her cleansing ritual. Think she might be a high-order hedge witch or something. She crept down the hallway toward the bathroom. The house groaned, but not like the wood. The same rhythmic groan, but this time metallic. Clink, 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 clink. Like the heater cooling down. Through the frosted glass of the bathroom, a flickering violet light pulsed, casting long, jittery shadows in the hall. Tally held her breath, her phone held out like a shield, yet trembling. She wasn't recording yet. She didn't want to alert the spirits, but her high-definition ghost tracker app opened. She peered through the crack. Maud was standing over the sink, but she wasn't washing her face. She was holding a heavy, lead-lined jar that looked like it belonged in a nuclear bunker, not a Victorian bathroom. Come on, you ancient piece of junk, Maud wheezed. She pulled the vitamin. It wasn't a pill. It was a violet sphere that seemed to suck the light out of the room. As Maud held it near her throat, the skin on her neck didn't tear, it rippled. It looked like liquid plastic. The vitamin didn't go in her mouth. She pressed it against her skin, and it sank in with a wet, squelching sound.
What?
Like a stone being dropped in thick mud. So kind of like...
Yeah, nope, I got it.
Tally gasped, her phone hitting the door frame with a dull thud. Maud froze. Her head didn't spin around yet, but her reflection in the mirror did something impossible. The Maud in the glass stayed perfectly still while the real Maud turned her head slowly to look at the door. Tally, Maud said. Her voice was a weird mechanical reverb, like she was speaking through a fan. Is that you, or is that the house finally developing a poltergeist? Because if it's a ghost, tell it to bring me some gin. I'm having a structural flare-up. I was just checking if you needed help, Tally stammered, backing away. She caught a glimpse of Maud's hand in the doorframe. The skin wasn't just wrinkled, it was sliding. The flesh of her forearm seemed to be drooping toward her wrist, bunching up like a loose sock. I don't need help. I need a lower gravity environment, Maud muttered, slamming the door shut. Tally retreated to the den, her brain on fire. Okay, Coven, she whispered to her phone. I just saw her absorb a glowing orb through her neck. Is this master level Reiki or healing or something? Or is she literally a vessel for an elder god? I gotta check the archives. She grabbed the Century of Maud album from the coffee table. Her mom, Susan, was busy in the kitchen yelling about the catering, so Tally flipped through the pages. 1924. Maud at a jazz club. She's wearing a flapper dress and she looks 82. 1945. Maud is at a VJ Day parade, waving a flag, and she looks 82. 1972. Maud at a disco. She has a massive afro wig pinned to her balding head, and she looks exactly 82. Tally pulled her phone and used the Face ID Compare app she'd downloaded for a video about doppelgangers. She scanned the 1924 photo and the 2024 selfie Maud had been forced to take for her birthday invite. The app processed for a second, then a bright red box flashed. Match, 100.0%. No way, Tally whispered. Even with Botox, your nose grows as you age. Your ears sag, and this isn't just good genes. This is a static image. The doorbell rang. Cousin Jeffrey, with his brood of sticky-handed toddlers, bursted in, followed by Aunt June, who was carrying a tray of deviled eggs. By the way, deviled eggs are like the bomb.
They are. We made them, we went to this New Year's Eve party, and we made 18 eggs, and we didn't get any of them because they were already gone. So the next day, we made more.
I was going to say that's the worst. All right. Happy birthday, Maud, they shrieked as the old woman emerged from the bathroom. Maud looked different. The vitamin hadn't just kicked in, but it had worked too well. Her skin was so tight it looked like polished marble.
Oh.
And she was walking with a strange hydraulic hiss. Every time she took a step, a little puff of green vapor escaped the heel of her sensible loafers. Maud, honey, you look radiant, Aunt June said, though she winced. Are you wearing a new perfume? It smells like burnt copper. It's a French brand, Maud rasped, her voice slipping into a deep I can't do a baritone voice. Can you?
Nope.
Nope, can't do it. So that's my version of a baritone voice. Before she coughed and corrected it. Very exclusive. It's called La Extraction de la Galaxie. Don't get too close, June. It's highly flammable. Tally watched from the corner, her phone hidden behind a potted ivy. See, this lady likes her plants. Just saying. She noticed a small wet patch forming on the back of Maud's floral muumuu. It wasn't sweat. It was a bright neon emerald fluid that was slowly eating a hole through the fabric of the recliner. Gross.
Ew.
Mom, Tally whispered, pulling her mom aside. Look at her chair. She's leaking. Like, literally leaking acid. Tally, stop being so judgmental of the elderly, Susan hissed. She's 100. Things leak. It's probably just her tea.
Ew, what?
Tea isn't neon green, Mom, and tea doesn't make the carpet smoke. That's enough, Tally, Susan whisper yelled. You know, like when your mom whisper yells at you?
Mm-hmm.
Like when
I
you're
do
in
it
public?
to Emily.
The celebration was in full swing, but the energy in the room began to curdle. It wasn't that the temperature in the room changed. It was the vibe that became impossibly heavy. Maud sat in her recliner, but she had become unnervingly still. It wasn't the stillness of sleep. It was the stillness of a statue. Her skin had taken on a waxy, translucent quality, and her features seemed to be drifting. Her left eyebrow seemed to be more off-kilter than it had been 10 minutes ago, and her jawline looked to have softened, like putty left in a warm room.
Ew.
Maud, dear, Aunt June whispered, leaning in, are you okay? Maud didn't answer. A faint, sweet and sour smell like overripe fruit and copper began to radiate from her.
No.
To the family, it smelled like ancient herbs. To Tally, it smelled like something biological was beginning to ferment. Something's happening, guys, Tally whispered to her phone camera. Look at her aura. It's so dense. It's actually warping the light around her. She's pulling all the heat into her core for a spiritual manifestation. Tally, stop being weird and look at her, Susan hissed, her face pale. She's so cold to the touch and she's turning blue. Her circulation must be failing. Run upstairs and
Or
get her...
she's dead. Jesus.
Run upstairs and get her favorite heavy velvet shawl from her cedar chest. It's the only thing that keeps her grounded, she always says. Tally hurried upstairs. The air in Maud's room was thick and smelled of high-grade minerals. She closed the door, and the muffled happy birthday music downstairs felt miles away. Tally had to snoop while she was in here, but she had to make it quick. Because, of course, why would you not snoop?
Because you're trying to get a shawl for a dead lady.
How do you know she's dead?
Because she's blue and stinky. I guess the stinky wouldn't normally come that fast, but you know what I mean. She's blue.
She's blue. Tally went straight to the vanity. Amidst...
Wow.
That's a hard word.
That is a hard word.
Amidst the porcelain knickknacks sat a small crystal jar filled with a thick iridescent paste. Tally touched it, and it felt like liquid silk and hummed against her finger. She looked in the mirror. In the reflection, the room slightly off. The bed wasn't a bed. It looked like a shallow, form-fitting nest. The witchy candles on her dresser didn't have wicks. They were solid pillars of translucent material that seemed to be breathing. She pulled open the vanity drawer. Beneath a stack of lace doilies was a folder of correspondence. Tally flipped through it. 1948. A letter from a cousin in Nevada. The desert is too dry for our kind. Hope you find the Miller family's Maud persona easier to maintain. Don't forget to keep the skin hydrated with the blue salts. 1985. A health report was written in a script that looked like squiggles. The Maud's chassis is showing significant cellular fatigue. Recommendation, do not engage in dancing or high-impact human activities. Maintain the fragile matriarch cover. She's been Maud for almost 70 years, Tally whispered. Her camera panned over to the yellow paper. She didn't replace a relative, she is the relative. She's been the same person since the Truman administration. Beside the letters was a small album, a smaller version of the one downstairs. Tally flipped through this too. In 1929, Maud at a garden party, she looked 82. 1955, Maud at a school play, she looked 82. In 1999, Maud at the New Year's party, she's wearing a 2000s headband and still looks exactly 82. None of this was making sense. Tally knelt at the cedar chest. She tried to lift the lid, but it was locked. Upon further inspection, she noticed the stone-carved dials on the front. Moon, star, void. So she turned them. She heard the soft click and then the hiss like something depressurized. The shawl was there, a heavy liquid silver velvet that felt unnaturally warm, almost like it had a pull. But as Tally lifted it, she saw what lay beneath. Laying in the bottom of the chest was a folded up human face.
No. No, it was not, actually.
It was Maud, a spare skin, complete with glasses and permed hair, folded neatly like a laundry item.
What the fuck? Skin suit in the hamper. Or not hamper, the chest.
Beside it sat a small vial of the vitamins glowing, violet spheres that felt warm and looked like marbles. Tally! Susan's voice drifted up, panicked. She's starting to slump. It looks like she's melting. Tally grabbed the warm shawl and the vial and sprinted back downstairs. The living room was silent. The family was huddled in the kitchen doorway staring. I've got it, Tally shouted, leaping into the room. Oh, thank God, Susan breathed. Wrap her up. Tally threw the silver velvet shawl over Maud. The moment the fabric touched her, the melting stopped. The heat from the shawl seemed to re-solidify the Maud exterior. Maud's eyes, wide, solid amber with no pupils, this time snapped open. She grabbed Tally's wrist. Her hand didn't feel like bone. It now felt like warm, dense cushion.
Oh.
The sacrament, Maud hissed, her voice resonant, multi-tonal hum that only Tally could hear. The violet spheres, one in my mouth. Now, the suit is debonding. Tally looked at the family, then at great-great-aunt in the chair. With the flourish of her hand, Tally held a violet sphere to Maud's lips. Auntie needs her ancestral essence, Tally announced. As the sphere touched Maud's mouth, it didn't just go in. It was absorbed through the skin of her lips with a soft, wet... Instantly, Maud's features snapped back into place. The nose shortened, the chin sharpened, and the waxy gray turned into a healthy, fake-looking pink. Much better, Maud said, her voice perfect. Sweet old lady lilt. She looked at the family, who were all staring in stunned silence. Well, what are we standing around like we've seen a ghost? It's my 100th birthday. Let's cut the cake before I actually do expire. Tally stood by the chair, the silver shawl still humming under her hand. She looked at Maud, who gave her a slow, deliberate wink, with an eye that stayed closed just a half second too long to be human. Everyone started moving around at once. While Susan and the cousins were in the kitchen, arguing over the placement of the 100 tiny candles, Maud stood up. Her movements weren't creaky, hesitant steps of a centenarian. That's a hard word. Of a really old lady. They were fluid, almost predatory. I need to prepare my spirit, Maud announced to the room, her voice echoing with a strange multitonal resonance. Tally, walk me up. I need your special protection, Maud said with a wink. Tally didn't say a word. She just gripped the silver shawl and followed Maud into the bedroom, slamming the door shut. The moment the latch clicked, Maud dropped the act. She didn't slump into a chair. She stood by the window, looking up at the darkening sky. The Maud skin was visually struggling now. A soft pulsing was happening at the base of her throat, and her fingers were beginning to shrivel. You're not sick, Tally said, her voice trembling as she held up the spare face she had taken from the chest. And you're not a witch, are you? You're a traveler. Maud turned, Her eyes were no longer brown. They were vast shimmering gold, like the surface of a sun. Traveler is a kind word, Tally. I was an observer, a student of the Miller Collective. I've spent 100 years watching your kind eat, fight, and celebrate the passage of time as if it was a tragedy instead of a cycle. So what happens now? Tally asked, stepping closer. The family is downstairs. They think you're a miracle. They're about to sing. When the song ends, Maud said, her voice smoothing out to a melodic alien baritone, my contract expires. The extraction beam is already calibrated to these coordinates. My kind, they won't leave Maud behind. They will reclaim the consciousness and the data. Maud reached out to touch Tally's cheek. Her hand was warm, but it felt like polished stone. Why did you stay so long? Tally whispered. The letter said you were obsolete decades ago. Maud gave a small, very human-looking smile. I liked the witchy one. You. You're the only one who looked at the world and hoped it was stranger than it appeared. I stayed to see what you would become. You have the spark, Tally. Don't let the functional primitives extinguish it. A loud knock came at the door. Tally! Maud! The cake's lit. We're starting the song. Go, Maud whispered. Go back down. Stand with them. When the song reaches the final note, don't look at the sky. Look at the chair. And remember me as the woman who survived a century of your terrible, wonderful life. Tally stumbled back downstairs, her heart hammering. The living room was dark, lit only by the flickering, dancing flames of 100 tiny candles. It looked like a ritual, a sea of fire reflected in the faces of her family. Where's Maud? Susan whispered. She's coming, Tally said, her eyes fixed on the empty recliner. The family began to sing. Happy birthday to you. Tally looked at the ceiling. The air was beginning to hum. Happy birthday to you. She saw a faint violet light beginning to swirl around the empty chair, a localized distortion that made the candlelight bend and warp. Happy birthday, dear Maud. Tally saw her great-great-aunt appear in the chair, but it wasn't the waxy gray woman from before. She was radiant. The silver shawl was glowing with a blinding brilliance, and for a split second, Tally saw the real Maud, a magnificent shimmering entity of light and glitter, draped in the Maud skin like a royal robe. Happy birthday to you. On the final note, a silent concussive wave of air hit the room. Every candle went out at once, and the smell of black licorice filled the house.
Oh.
When Susan flicked the lights back on, the chair was empty. The silver shawl was draped neatly over the back of the recliner, still warm to the touch, and the Maud suit was gone. The vitamins were gone. She's gone, Aunt June whispered, clutching her chest. She just vanished into the light. Susan was crying, but Tally just walked over to the chair, and she picked up a single tiny iridescent scale that had been left behind on the velvet. Tally looked at her phone. The recording had cut out, but the final frame was a blur of violet light and a golden eye winking at the lens. She didn't vanish, Mom, Tally said, a small, knowing smile tugging at her lips. She just caught a ride. 3 days after the vanishing, the Miller house was quiet. The cousins had gone home with their Tupperware of leftover cake, and Susan was busy on the phone with a real estate lawyer, trying to explain how a 100-year-old woman could vanish into thin air without leaving a body for a death certificate. Tally was back in Maud's room. The heavy energy was gone, replaced with a clean, neutral scent, like a room that had been vacuum sealed for a century had finally been opened. She sat on the edge of the bed and opened the leather-bound journal she had swiped before the extraction. She flipped past the family tree and the anatomical sketches until she reached the very last page. It wasn't written in a scribble. It was written in a clear, elegant English. To the anomalous subject, Tally. By now, I am approximately 3 million miles away, enjoying a nutrient bath and a chair that actually supports all 6 of my primary limbs. Being Maud was exhausting, but being your aunt was surprisingly the highlight of my mission.
Aww.
I've left something for you. Not the house. Your mother will fight over that. but something for your content. Look under the loose floorboard beneath the vanity. It's a fight for the only human who bothered to look close enough to see the cracks in the mask. Tally dropped the book and knelt by the vanity. She pried open the board. Inside was a small, sleek device that looked like a piece of polished obsidian. It had no buttons, but when she touched it, a holographic display flickered to life. It wasn't a star map, it was a galactic filter. Tally held her phone up to the obsidian device. Instantly, her camera app transformed. She panned the phone around the room. Through the screen, the world looked different. She could see the auras of the plants, the lingering heat signatures of her ancestors in the floorboards, and most importantly, a small, glowing violet trail leading out the window and up into the stars. "Coven," Tally whispered, hitting the live button. Her voice was steady, filled with a new kind of power. "You guys aren't going to believe this. I used to think that I was looking for ghosts, but I was looking too low." She pointed the camera at the sky. Through the filter, a massive cloaked structure was visible hanging in the upper atmosphere, shimmering like a crown of diamonds. "The veil isn't thick," Tally said, a sharp, knowing glint in her eyes. "The veil is a broadcast, and I just got the password." A notification popped up on her screen. @Mod74 has joined your live. @Mod74. Nice lighting, kid. Don't forget to ground your energy. Tally laughed, adjusted her rings, and began to film the truth.
Oh, that was really cool. That was a really good story, dude.
Yeah?
Skin suit. Skin suit's pretty bad.
Skin suit.
But
always, it freaks me out, like, ever since, like, Men in Black, like, with the little alien and the skin suit.
oh, yeah, okay. I had to picture it. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
I have a lot of movie references, sorry. But yeah, that's what I was like, okay, how can we make this tricky? We're going to give it like a witchy vibe, but then like
right?
a alien.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Thanks.
I liked it a lot.
I just struggle to read sometimes, that's all.
All right, so...
Oh, wait.
Email them. Oh, what?
Wait, I have a story. And I said I would mention the story.
Oh, that's right. Oh, right. I forgot.
Okay. So, clarification about creepypastas. So, I got a message from my best friend from high school. Love her. Mm-hmm. And she said that Mom needs a recipe for creepypastas. And I'm like... So without skipping a beat, I replied back, hold on, I gotta pull it up because I laughed so hard. It was the greatest thing ever. And I told her I was gonna mention it on the podcast. So I told her 1 container of worm noodles, 1 jar of tomato basil sauce, and 1 dead man's toe for taste. And I sent her like the gif from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Dead man's toe.
Yeah. And she was like, okay, but Parmesan or mozzarella? And I was like, you gotta use the stinky feet cheese. Like, you have to. It was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, that is great.
Because, like, for like, people who are into, like, spooky stuff or, like,
it means
creepypastas,
something.
It means something. But, like, to people who are not.
Aren't, they're like, what is that?
So, for clarification, a creepypasta is...
just any sort of scary story that you've written yourself. So it can be horror, it can be suspense, it can be paranormal, it can be ghosty, it can be alien, it can be anything.
Yeah.
But as long as you've written it yourself.
And it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. We like creepy. But yeah, so if you have any creepypastas that you've written.
Or any personal experiences.
Or true stories are always welcome as well.
Yep. Anything like that.
And it doesn't have to be super long.
No.
Like, we would love to be able to do, like, a listener submission only, maybe, episode where we do, like, 6 of them, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We can mix in, like, true ones, or if there's, like, a specific, like, haunting or ghost or something you want us to look into, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, email me suggestions on that, too, because I'd be glad to look into them.
Yeah. So thank y'all for making me laugh about the creepypasta. That was great. I loved it.
That was great. Oh, yeah. Oh, but it goes to ofmaliceandmirth@gmail.com.
Yes.
And also, please, if you can follow us on social medias,
That would be awesome.
we would love it.
Yeah, and we want to meet you guys.
Yeah, if you have, like, I don't know, feedback even.
True.
We're
so open
feedback.
to that.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind giving us a rating or
yes.
comment on our videos, that would be awesome.
Yes, because the more ratings we get, the more it pushes us out to new people.
Because we love y'all, and we also want to meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks
we appreciate
for listening,
it.
y'all.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.